Obviously the word's gotten out, place is overrun with tour buses and people like myself, I suppose. Yeah, not too sure how long it's gonna take to pass this checkpoint, but yeah, we just need to sit tight and wait until we get the all clear. So potentially another option too might be, if you're considering coming here in the near future, is to take a tour to enter the exclusion zone from the Belarus side. I think that those tours haven't quite got off the ground yet. Might be a little bit easier, perhaps a little less crowded as well. So we're currently just waiting for clearance to pass through the boom gate that's behind me there. Not really sure how long it's going to take at this stage, but speaking with some of the others, it could be around another 30 minutes or so. Alright, so we're in the first sort of little township area inside the exclusion zone. Just over to my left here, we've got a couple of murals that appear to be depicting the accident. Sort of like the main street here, and as you can see, very much a ghost town. A little bit deeper inside the exclusion zone now. One of the local gentlemen just has a geiger counter in his possession. I mean, he's just got a reading of 0.37, which is apparently right on the edge of the tolerable levels for human beings. So I'm hoping that's not going to increase too much as we venture further inside the exclusion zone. An abandoned kindergarten just behind me here. So we're just going to go in and have a bit of a look in there and see what's left of it. Alright guys, that is reactor number 4, the site of the 1986 accident. And as you can see, a steel looking dome kind of structure has been built over the top to contain the worst of the radiation. We're actually underneath the reactor now.
Don't walk on the moss or mud. You have the council for this? Yeah, it's actually
So just a moment ago the geiger counter started beeping. We had a reading of about 1.7, which is pretty damn high. We're under strict instructions not to walk on the mud or the moss, covering a lot of the ground sort of more in the centre there, and we must stick to the concreted areas. So we probably don't want to be hanging around in here for too long, I don't think. Quite a lot of hard work done for nothing. And, really is quite amazing to see it. It's just tons and tons of concrete.
Clear, mate.
Cheers, bro. Yeah, just a bit of a contamination check there before heading into the canteen for lunch. Reactor number 4, just behind me here, the site of the 1986 accident. This is about as close as we can get. The Geiger counters registering a slightly higher reading at the moment, so we probably don't want to hang around here for too long. We're just going to get some photos and record a short clip, and then we'll be back on the bus. Continuing on with our walk through Pripyat. Was once home to around 47,000 people. At the time of the accident, I've been told that around 15,000 of those people were children under the age of 18 years. Certainly not the best place for them to be at that point in time, but as you can see from the footage here, the area is quite dilapidated. There's lots of broken glass and smashed concrete and things on the ground. Yeah, it's certainly in a profound state of disrepair at the moment. So we've just pulled up at the old amusement park. You can see from the footage we've got the dodgem cars over here. We've got a couple of swings over this way, and just in front of me we've got a Ferris wheel, which is it's in quite a rundown state, covered in rust, and obviously hasn't been used in years. So as you can see from the footage, it's not in particularly good shape at all, but I think that's probably expected after all this time. So we've just left the amusement park. I've just been told that it was never actually used. It was scheduled to open on the 1st of May 1986. But unfortunately the accident happened about 5 days beforehand, so people of Pripyat never actually got to enjoy those carnival rides. Here we are at the former stadium. Just been granted permission to come up into the bleachers for a couple of minutes. As you can see, it's quite incredible the condition that it's in. Wood is just completely rotted. Still got one spotlight behind us here which is still standing. And there's just broken concrete and rotting wood everywhere. Moss, overgrown vegetation. It's really quite amazing the effects that time has on man-made structures. This place is absolutely falling to pieces. It's a lot of gas masks. There's actually a school that we're walking through right now, or was a school. This area here, this building is apparently where the sporting and recreational facilities once were. Yeah, it's an absolute mess. It's like the locker room. Swimming pool, diving platform. Accounts the facilities are quite good. Broken glass everywhere. Geiger counter just got a reading of 0.27, so we should be pretty right. So I've just climbed up 16 flights of stairs, which was pretty hard going in my present condition. We're actually in an old apartment block now, so I'm just going to have a look along the floor and check out one of these old abandoned apartments. Bathroom. Walking down the main corridor. So I'm up on the 16th floor, and from the window here you can see the town of Pripyat. Just inside this hospital here, and it is completely and utterly destroyed. This is just unreal.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
So I'm actually walking around here by myself. I've just left the group behind for a couple of minutes, and we're actually walking around in an abandoned village right now. And I've just stumbled across this house here, and it's actually kind of spooky walking around by myself, knowing the others are still probably 100 yards or so further up that way. But again, it's just in a decrepit state. It's been looted and ransacked and pretty much destroyed, which is a shame, but that's how it is. Yeah, so wish I could say I was feeling unperturbed by that little spooky little cottage back there, but yeah, it was almost as if I was expecting an axe murderer to jump out in front of me with a gas mask on or something, and some hermit that's been living in isolation out in the forest for the last 33 years. Yeah, it almost feels like the Blair Witch Project or something like that out here in the woods. Similar kind of woods. Okay, we're in a very isolated forest region in the Chernobyl exclusion zone. We're currently on the roof of what appears to be a former control station for this impressive structure behind me here. This was actually used in the Soviet era as a missile detection system, and you really need to see it to appreciate just how massive it really is. And it's just sitting here built in the middle of this forest. It took us about 20 minutes to get here, just driving down a straight road, some of the densest forest you can imagine on both sides of the road. You can just see here from the rooftop that there's an abundance of vegetation that's just basically growing out of moss that's formed on top of the whatever materials that they've used here for the roof. Pretty much every piece of metal is just rusting. It really is quite a sight.